Yo, what's going on? Y'all tuning in? Welcome to the Talkin Shit Show. We're gonna start in a minute. Yiddy! Now go ahead and roll up, get your drinks situated. Gonna be with you in just a minute. Yo. Yo, 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 yo. Just doing a sound check real quick. Yo. All right. Alright, like they say, man, without further ado, we finna get this thing cracking. So, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome. Get all the way hooked up here. Alright, 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 alright. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Talkin Shit show. Y'all know what it is. Sorry about that. I was supposed to get all that stuff hooked up before y'all came in here. That's on me. I'm a little bit under the weather right now. Not under the weather, but I ain't feeling too good. But we're going to go on and get this thing cracking, man. All right, y'all. Welcome to Talkin Shit episode 42. Glad to see y'all. Glad to be seen. You know, it's been a lot of stuff going on. Everybody talking about Deion. We're gonna touch on that. But there's a couple other things going on, and I got some updates for y'all for a couple. I know one episode that we covered a while ago. I got an update on. But y'all sit back, roll up, and talk some shit with your boy. All right.
From renter to owner in 32 days.
Shit, I ain't even checked it out. I you know how I do. I seen it, and I refused to look at it till I watched it with y'all, man. On me. So, let's get into it.
Shooting her husband over accusations that he molested children at the daycare center she owns will remain in jail in Washington, D.C. This morning, a judge ordered Shantari Weems stay behind bars ahead of her next court date, which is in August. Now, we told you last week that Weems was arrested after shooting James Weems Jr., allegedly, in a hotel room in Washington. Her lawyers say she fired in self-defense when she confronted him about those molestation claims. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren, he's live in Washington, D.C. He was the only Baltimore television reporter in that courtroom this morning, Mike, which I understand was very emotional.
What you fucking do, nigga? So you was nosy.
Denise, there was some drama. People were angry about this decision and began yelling at the judge, both in the courtroom and those watching in an online feed. Now, the judge explained essentially that she cannot consider the motive at this phase and that Shantari Weems should not have taken the law into her own hands. An emotional scene outside of the courthouse where friends and family of Shantari Weems comfort each other moments after a judge orders her held without bail. Weems owns a daycare in Baltimore County. She's accused of shooting her husband, James Weems Jr., over allegations he was molesting children there. The violent encounter happened at a luxury hotel in Washington, D.C. last week, where Weems, a retired Baltimore City police officer, was on a work trip on a security detail.
Regardless of whether or not you feel like what she did was justifiable, she was protecting children.
Obviously, she's disappointed.
Her attorney, Tony Garcia, argued she shot her husband in self-defense.
She was emotionally shattered. And then she went down there asking him what happened. He went from 0 to 1,000. He came at her, and she had to defend herself.
The prosecutor alleges Weems never told police she was scared of her husband. The judge explained the reason she confronted him is not a factor the court considers. Weems, handcuffed and wearing an orange jail jumpsuit, wept inside the courtroom. Family, including her mother, declined to speak to WJZ. We did obtain an affidavit from the detective who interviewed her. He described a bloody scene. One bullet went through her husband's neck. Another remains lodged in his thigh. Police say Shantari Weems wrote in a notebook that James Weems is scum. I hope you get beat up in jail. I'm going to paralyze you. And I want these kids to get justice. My only regret is that I didn't put the bullet in your head. She apologized to her babies at the daycare, writing that she did not know about the abuse.
Being behind bars and taking your freedom from you is hell.
And right now, James Weems remains in custody here in Washington. We're told that Baltimore County Police are going to pick him up on Monday and bring him back to Maryland to face justice. He is facing at least 3 charges of molesting children at the daycare.
Oh, wow.
Reporting live at Superior Court in Washington, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. Sometimes, man, I be speechless on these things. Like, that's my that bro, like, okay, so it didn't say he's suspected. It say he's being charged. That means they got evidence, hard cold, stone cold evidence on this dude. Seems like. I try to listen to the words in between the shit, cause that's where you get the truth of what's really going on. Sometimes, most of the time. So they didn't say he being allegedly. They just said he's being charged. So, and then she wrote, my only regret is that I didn't put the bullet in your head. This is a sticky situation. This is tough, man. Y'all gotta put down in the comments about that situation or what that is. What y'all think about that, let me say that. I had to clean my what's-her-names up. I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to get it on the next show. Next show, I'm doing topics from the comment section, man. But, I don't know. We're going to have to keep on looking at this situation. This shit still got me kind of floored. Because, I mean, the way they talking is like this nigga really did do the shit. And honestly, I mean, he ain't dead, so I kind of feel like she shouldn't be really charged. I mean, she didn't kill him. She said it was in self-defense. Only they knew what was going on in that room, in that hotel room, so I mean, and then the cameras, if they got any up there, but other than that, man, y'all know how we do here, man. We just check this shit out and talk some shit, man. We not finna. I don't know too much about that shit. That shit just seemed crazy. We just gotta keep on following that, bro, because that shit is just. I need to see what happened. I just want to see what happens to her. Because they treating her, they holding her without bail, without bond. That's weird. That's like they finna try to slam her for that. I understand they trying to make the point she shouldn't have took the law into her own hands, but it's either here or there when somebody coming at you, and no matter what you confronting them about, if somebody coming at you and you feel like your life in jeopardy, you just don't want to deal with this right now. I'm not finna be in no physical altercations right now, so I'm gonna hit you with a couple of these hot peppers, and you gonna back the fuck up off me. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. I don't know. I just want to see what happened to her, though. I really want to see what happened, because I don't think that's. I don't know. All right, moving right along.
A 10-year-old Wisconsin boy is accused of shooting and killing his mother. A 10-year-old Wisconsin boy is accused of shooting and killing his mother, allegedly because she wouldn't buy him something he wanted on Amazon. A complaint obtained from the Milwaukee District Attorney's Office states the child is being charged with first-degree reckless homicide. According to the complaint, the boy allegedly told his family, "I'm really sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for killing my mom." The boy's family told authorities he has a history of rage issues. According to the complaint, the child claimed he was angry with his mom that day because she woke him up early. He claims he obtained the gun from her bedroom, went down to the laundry room, and shot her. He then woke up his older sister, who found their mother's body and called police. The complaint also states he went on Amazon the day after the shooting and ordered a virtual reality headset that he wanted on his mother's account. A hearing on this case is reportedly scheduled for December 7th. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
All over the Oculus. All over that Oculus. They're taking these Christmas lists too far, man. Rest in peace to that lady, because no woman should be killed, or no mother or father should be killed because they not buying their son some shit, their child some shit that they seen on TV or want. First of all, entitlement in this country at this day and age probably ain't even this country. It's probably more than this country. It's probably every fucking where. But the entitlement is getting way the fuck out of hand for these kids. Like, I remember barely having the necessities, and I was happy as shit. I went outside, played with my friends. I had a bike. I had good motherfucking times. You know what I'm saying? I had some toys. I had a bike. I had a video game system that I played rarely. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, because I was outside. So I mean, it's different. It's just weird. I play more now than I've ever played in my life. You know what I'm saying? But I'm grown. I've reached that point. I did all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm grown. I do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. Like, I've accomplished everything that I wanted to do, and I'm still accomplishing stuff. So, I mean, these kids think that they can get anything that they want, or that they're entitled to anything that they want just when they ask for it, and they haven't accomplished anything. They haven't even gotten out of school with decent grades yet. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, how, first of all, how does, and see, this is what I mean about the entitlement. Y'all have to put, and I'm not saying just put the tight leash. I ain't talking about put the tight white leash on your kids, like see the white folks in the mall with their kids on a leash. That's ridiculous, inhumane. I ain't talking about no shit like that. I'm just saying, teach them the value of things. Teach them, give them chores, give them assignments, give them stuff to do around the house. Give them things that is considered work and looks like work, so they can understand the basics of working and getting paid for what you work for. You know what I'm saying? Or hustle for it. Like, that's just it. Like, nobody's going to give you anything when you're grown and you're out of here, out of house or whatever like that. Nobody's going to give you shit. Whatever the dude's name is, what's the dude that be giving away all the money on YouTube? Shout out to that nigga, man. Give me some money, man, if it's real. It seemed fake as hell to me. Dr. Doom, I don't know the damn name. But that shit seemed fake as hell. Like, nobody's going to do that. Nobody walks up and give you money. Or you got to go get that shit. No matter how you got to get it, you got to go get it. You got to put that shit together no matter how you can. And the desensitization, y'all try to say that shit 4 times fast. The desensitization of the kids and the youth, and even us as adults, is also getting out of hand. Like, people are desensitized. He didn't even think twice. He went and got the gun. He went and shot his mom like she was gonna come back. There's no more. He's too, like, he don't need that fucking Oculus. He don't need that shit. And that's probably what she told him. Nigga, you don't need it. No, I'm not ordering this shit. You crazy. It's $300-$400. Or you got straight A's? Have I had any, have I had all good reports from you, from your teachers? No, I don't know what's going on. That type of stuff. And even still, like, $300, teach the value of these things. Like, that's That's a lot of money. Depending on where they live, that could be half their rent. You know what I'm saying? All they rent, half their rent. I don't know. That could be whatever. It's a damn good grocery bill. You know what I'm saying? They ain't think about that when they want lunches for school and stuff like that, and when they want to eat, sit around the house and play the game and eat. So, I mean, I don't know. I think we all just need to, I don't know. I think it's like a reset with some of these kids. Like our generations have been lost. Too much of us parents, we have become parents. People have become parents and left the parenting part out. You know what I'm saying? They started parenting because they mainly probably didn't know how. I remember when I was younger, kids' parents was going to the club still, and my friends' parents was in the clubs we was in, and it was weird. Like, it started getting weird. Like, it's just weird, and it's weird now. Y'all try to kick it with y'all kids like y'all are friends. No, y'all are parents. Y'all can have the best of times. Y'all are going to have the best times. Especially if you're doing what you're doing. If y'all, kicking it with your kids, making them get out here and get, let them experience culture and all that kind of stuff. Y'all will have the best of times, but y'all are not friends. There's no compromise in this thing called parenting. This is how it is. I am molding you into being a better person. This is how it is. This is how it's going to be. And let's keep it pushing. Let's move on. It's not even, man, I could go off into that. I could talk shit about that all night. Let me stop, man. But I'm just saying, though. You feel me, y'all? I know y'all feel me out there. Put that up in there, man. I know y'all feel me. Like, you can't. You gotta parent these kids, man, or else shit like this happens. You know what I mean? My kids don't even know where my pistols are. You know what I'm saying? They won't know. They don't need to know. Only reason why they're there is to protect them. They don't need to see the security guards. All they need to know is to know that they secure. That's it. Anyway, man. Sad shit, man.
Are you ready to start your own?
Next on the list, man. I don't know what this is either. We're going to jump into it. I say in production. This is why I like it. I like production to send us good stuff. And then we hit to it. And I like to, I like to go and keep it moving with some good stuff, man. So let's see what's
Korea today says that the North responded to their joint U.S. military drills by firing 130 suspected artillery rounds towards South Korea. The drills are set to continue tomorrow, with officials saying the shelling did not reach the southern side of the buffer zone. It comes amid heightened tensions with the North over its missile testing and the likelihood of its first nuclear test in 5 years. Concerns I talked about with the Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, and here's more from that interview at the Reagan National Defense Forum. I want to ask you about North Korea. We saw the most advanced ICBM launch, and the frequency of testing is extraordinary.
Okay, so we know that they launching missiles and nuclears into stuff.
Speaking of transparency.
Andrea. Yeah.
That was an intriguing comment, a little cryptic. She just said that somehow China was providing them help on the margin.
Nuclear threats, whether bluff or not, from Putin, and he seems to have restrained it since China expressed that at the G20. But China, she didn't rule out that China could be providing other kinds of support to Putin.
That was
buying the oil, not buying weapons, but...
That was an intriguing comment, a little cryptic. She just said that somehow China was providing them help on the margins, short of weapons, but other sorts of assistance. So I think that's something we're all going to be asking about, exactly what she was referring to. What is true is that China has not bailed out Russia's economy. They have not run afoul of those U.S. and international sanctions, which is telling. And that's also telling that Russia has had to turn to Iran, not China, to get its drones for its war in Ukraine.
Well, Dan, thank you so much.
Right,
your expertise is so valuable.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's funny. So we know they practicing the nukes, man. We'll do a lot of that political stuff on a different kind of, what's the name? On a different kind of kind of platform and stuff, man. Moving right along, man.
A racist bartender, all right, decides to physically assault a black woman and call her racial slurs. That sentencing has just gone down. I'm going to remind you of what happened and then give you the background. Here it is.
Bro, that car was sitting here facing the wrong way, and her homegirl walked in.
Bro, you're in big trouble, bro.
Hey, bro, chill, bro. That's a female.
Nigga.
He could have killed her. He had in his right hand, go back and look at the video. He had in his right hand a gun, okay? He did get arrested. Put up the pictures full mass here. A Dallas County jury has now found a former bartender guilty of obstruction and assault for this incident. This actually went down in 2019. Justice has been deferred for a few years. Austin Sheffield, on the left, was indicted on 2 felony counts and 2 misdemeanor charges for assaulting Deion Lee, 27 years of age, on the right. This was a parking lot incident that led to what you saw. While Sheffield was found guilty on 1 count of obstruction and another count of assault, he was actually found not guilty on the charge for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. As I said before, you clearly see he has a gun in his right hand. Sheffield was initially charged with interfering with an emergency call and misdemeanor assault before public outcry led to the police upgrading the charges. So what happened here? He does that to a black woman. He does not get charged appropriately. We make noise about it. All of a sudden, the charges get upgraded. The incident only made national headlines after police initially charged Lee with criminal mischief for breaking the rear window of Sheffield's truck. Following their argument, charges were eventually recalled by the DA. Let me give you details, background. Lee was going the wrong way down a one-way street in the Deep Ellum neighborhood. This was March 21st of that year. She was dropping off a friend, she said. Sheffield was trying to leave a parking lot. He tried to take a picture of her license plate. Lee, 24 years old, threatened to mace him if he did not back away. WFAA reported, citing a police affidavit. A bystander video is what really made the difference. It captured what happened next. Sheffield, who is a white male, clutches a pistol at his side and steps toward Lee, who is black. She pulls out her phone to dial 911. Sheffield swats the phone to the ground. That is criminal. And Lee connects a punch. Then Sheffield winds up for at least 5 hard blows to Lee's head, sending her reeling. Then he kicks her phone down the street. Lee also accused Sheffield of calling her racial slurs and making other racist remarks. Lawyers for Sheffield argued that the incident was not a hate crime and insisted that he did not make a racial slur toward Lee. However, Lee and her attorneys have said otherwise. Sheffield was initially arrested and released. The case was later handed over to a special prosecutor for presentation to a grand jury. Now let me talk about the gun for a minute. In the cell phone video captured, this was captured once again by a nearby witness. Sheffield can be seen wielding a gun at his side during the altercation, though it wasn't enough to sway that jury. As part of a plea deal, Sheffield received a 120-day jail term for assault, a 5-year prison sentence for obstruction, and probation for 2 years. Understand how this worked out. As it relates to his assault against the black female, please note, he got off light. And even before that, he was going to get off completely without any penalty truly connected to that crime until people spoke up. It is important. When you see something that's not right, you gotta say something. I'm thankful that the bystander said, you know, I see an argument, I'm going to start recording. You just never know. You never know. Every friend that I have, they know if I'm in the car with them or if they are riding with me, if there's someone pulled over, we're stopping the car, we will be a safe distance away, and I start recording. I do this 100% of the time. I don't care if I'm late for my appointment, my engagement, whatever it may be, I'm simply going to be late because we're going to do that every single time. It's too dire. It's somebody's life on the line. All right, Ms. Dahl, thoughts on this?
I mean, it's really sad that you have to do that and it's somebody's life on the line. It's really sad. But I do think that these video images are really making officers accountable and because, you know, really things are hard to prove in court. You know, there's a lot of perception. It's really easy for lawyers to poke holes with those kind of things. But when you have video footage like that, you know, that becomes like the best evidence in court. And in terms of the aggravated assault, you know, probably the reason why that wasn't able to stick is because although he had the gun, he didn't use the gun. And not even necessarily that he didn't shoot her, but even if he had used the gun, you know, to hit her on the head, he would have gotten that charge because you can argue that somebody is using a deadly weapon, you know, even if it's not necessarily a deadly weapon, but they use it in a way that can cause somebody serious harm or death. And so since he didn't use it at all, that's probably how his lawyers were able to get him off on that charge.
You know, what's really interesting, and we see this routinely, is that there's this sentiment many times when a white male or even a white female is charged, there's an effort to either minimize the charges to the bare minimum or not overcharge at all. But then an African American is charged, black or brown person, there's this sentiment to overcharge them, to make the charges extreme, knowing many of them would not stick, and then making them fight to get those charges dropped. I'm sure you've seen that as somewhat of a routine now in many criminal justice systems throughout the country.
I mean, we've seen it in a lot of the cases that we've covered here. And you know, I think a big part of that and how you address that is having more diverse prosecutors in a prosecution office, right? Because you know, prosecutors only bring charges they think they can win, because their reputation is on the line. And prosecutors usually like to say that they are kind of like undefeated, right? Or that they have won every trial. That's very common among prosecutors. It helps them kind of with their own career. So if they think that the defendant has maybe a more high-powered lawyer on the other side, they're going to maybe question what kind of charges they're going to bring. So a lot of it too is like economics, and why we have also talked about how important it is to bolster the public defender's office in order to create equity in the justice system, because public defenders are amazing, but really over, you know, they have too many cases. Yeah. And the prosecutors know that. And so they know that it may be easier to bring more charges. You're just gonna overwhelm that defense attorney even more. And I think that interplay is how we see that happen and why we see that happen.
All right.
Listen, man. That white dude wouldn't have made it out that parking lot, man. I don't understand how these dudes are standing back saying, I mean, I do, because dude got a gun, but at some point, man, you got to step up, man, and say something, man. You got to pull your piece, hold him, you know what I'm saying? Hey, don't move, I'm gonna bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pop you, I'm gonna pop you one. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you gotta let something be known, man. You definitely gotta let something be known. You can't let that type of shit happen, man. Not to our black folk, not to anybody really, and definitely not to no female. It's not that shit ain't cool, man. Well, moving right along.
Man has died after getting brutally assaulted by a gang of 8.
All right.
Man has died after getting brutally assaulted by a gang of ATV and dirt bike riders earlier this month. 45-year-old Arthur Cook suffered severe injuries to his neck and spine, dying in the hospital 2 weeks after the violent attack.
Fox 5's Ashley Rodriguez looks into his death and how the NYPD is patrolling those illegal drivers.
Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Cook.
Police say a gang of 30 ATV and dirt bike riders beat 45-year-old Arthur Cook so bad they killed him. The assault on November 4th happened on East 125th Street. Around 10 that night, one of the riders hit Cook's passenger side mirror. He got out to survey the damage, and the riders attacked. Cook, a father of a young child, would die from the injuries to his neck and spine 2 weeks later.
We were devastated.
Cook's death was unexpected, and his friends and co-workers at Exodus Transitional Community believe it was unprovoked.
I don't know how this could happen to somebody who was so loved in the community, how this could happen in this day and age where there's, so many cameras all over and people and police officers patrolling the area.
This summer, Mayor Eric Adams made a show of demolishing 92 illegal vehicles, vowing to step up enforcement after a father and son were attacked by a group on dirt bikes in Harlem back in March.
I am tired of these dirt bikes and three-wheelers.
Nearly 6 months later, as the NYPD looks for Cook's murderers, I reached out for specifics. They responded, "The NYPD is aggressively pursuing every method to rid our streets of illegal dirt bikes and ATVs. That includes a shared effort by multiple bureaus, towing the vehicles when they're parked and tracking them when residents report the mobs. This year, 30,000 drivers have been issued tickets, 3,000 motorcycles have been towed, and just under 10,000 dirt bikes and ATVs have been seized." If you've ever seen a gang of ATVs or dirt bikes going by, you're probably wondering, where are the cops? Well, the NYPD has a strict policy, and while their officers can stop illegal drivers, they have to first consider the safety of it. If the risk to the officer or the public outweighs the danger to the community, they have to let it go.
They're all over the place, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, you always see them. I hate it when when bad things happen to good people, because he really didn't deserve that at all.
Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 5 News.
Wow.
An elected damn sheriff.
Man has died after getting brutally assaulted by a gang of ATV and dirt bike riders earlier this month. 45-year-old.
Man, I just want to weigh in on this ATV dirt bike shit real quick. Man, be careful out there. That shit right there is uncalled for. Motherfuckers just jumping. And this goes back to what I just was talking about earlier, man. Like people, the way kids is being brought up, the way our attitudes are right now, like, man, that shit, why would they jump on these men? Father and son, then why would they kill this dude? They beat this nigga up so bad he died. Like, this shit don't make no sense, man. For what? Cause you broke his mirror. Man. I don't even, like I said, sometimes some things, a lot of things lately been making me speechless, man, because of the way these attitudes are, the way people are valuing, the way the value of life are, how desensitized people are. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing that more important. Like, my mirror costs probably $40. You can get that slap back on, man. My dog died over $40, and he didn't even bother him. He got out to see the damage. And they jumped on him. Like, y'all in these it's these drugs, it's all this motherfucking shit you motherfuckers taking, all that goddamn testosterone. You niggas been calling up Big Hurt, getting that Total T. You niggas been on some bullshit lately. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck around and knock on the wrong door. You know what I'm saying? And listen. Y'all niggas crazy, man, with these dirt bikes. All right, moving right along. Y'all know how we do it, man. That shit, y'all niggas crazy.
Elected damn sheriff got arrested for drugs and guns. Let's put his picture up full mass.
Give it to me.
Story. A Johnson County, Arkansas sheriff was arrested on Saturday for speeding and possession of drugs and firearms. His name is Sheriff Jimmy Stevens, 57 years of age, was pulled over by Arkansas state troopers for speeding when they found him to be in possession of firearms and drugs at the traffic stop. Reportedly, Stevens had previously told constituents he planned to lead through responsible action. Stevens, a Republican, was elected in 2019 and re-elected in May with 62% of the vote. According to the Fort Smith Times, Stevens was booked into the Crawford County Detention Center on Saturday night. An Arkansas State Police spokesman said he was later released on a $25,000 bail. He is actually expected in court today. Let me give you what's available as it relates to his charges. Not a whole lot. It seems as if they went out of their way to try to protect some of the police narrative against him. A jailer said Sunday Stevens was booked at 8:46 p.m. Saturday on 3 complaints of possession of a controlled substance and 1 complaint of speeding.
Cocaine.
Bill Sattler, the state police spokesman, stated, and I quote, Arkansas State Police conducted a traffic stop earlier today and arrested Sheriff Stevens on charges
he had a little MILF.
Simultaneously
He had a little MILF, little go fast.
Possession of firearms and drugs. Now, I have a question here because Arkansas, they're not being transparent about exactly what happened.
No, they're not.
What kind of guns can a sheriff have where it is illegal to possess them? What's the context here? How did they know that the sheriff had drugs in the vehicle? Was the sheriff high at the time? Is that what prompted the stop and search? Because keep in mind, at some point, this became a Fourth Amendment situation, search and seizure. Well, you must have a good reason. You got to have reasonable suspicion, and then to effect the arrest, probable cause. There's a lot of information missing here as to the cause and effect of how all of this went down. Let's put up the Johnson County Sheriff elect Jimmy Stevens profile. The simultaneous possession charge, all right, that's actually a felony. In a post made in 2018 on his campaign's Facebook page, the sheriff listed out a series of promises to the people if they were to elect him as their sheriff. One point listed said, and I quote, I pledge to hold myself as well as all employees to the highest level of professional conduct and morality. Stevens also said he believed it is imperative that a proactive approach be taken when dealing with criminal behaviors. Well, damn. All right. You should have locked yourself up, Sheriff.
I think the girls
That's funny. So yeah, I kind of want to see what it is too. If it was, I want to see if it was I kind of want to see if it was meth or coke. There was automatics. Because that's the kind of guns, that's the only kind of guns that's going to be illegal for a sheriff to own. You can't get booked for having your service pistol on you, your service weapons on you, shotguns, pistols, even the M16, honestly, or the maybe the M4, whatever they're using, like for the assault. I think it's like M16, or yeah. So, but you shouldn't be able to. Nah. Nope. So, all right. First update. This update right here. Let me try to get to this. I know y'all kind of remember it. Y'all have to. I know y'all remember when we talked about some of this.
This case absolutely reminds me of the Maud Arbery story, which is a very similar story of a father and son chasing down a black man who was running through the neighborhood to get exercise, and they said they did not recognize him and thought that he was potentially breaking into houses, and they ran him down and they killed him. This story seems very, very similar. I think that it's going to be important to get to the bottom of this story and find out what happened in much more detail than what we already have. I'm glad that the father and son have been indicted, but further, more things, it needs to be looked into what else they have been up to, because if they acted this way with this FedEx driver, I doubt that that was their first time doing that. Additionally, it's very hard for me to believe that, when you look at the details of the story, the driver reports that he was in his FedEx uniform, but he was in a Hertz rental truck that was not marked FedEx. It's very hard for me to believe that this is the first time that FedEx has been told, hey, a black person going into random neighborhoods, we receive harassment that white drivers do not. So you're going to need to do something as far as when it comes to our security, possibly not have us driving around in unmarked vehicles, because that can lead to potentially deadly consequences for us. It's hard for me to believe that FedEx has never heard that before, but I suspect capitalism probably is a reason that they have not made the necessary changes to protect black drivers. So that is something that needs to be looked into as well.
Omakanga, we've done many of these stories where UPS drivers trying to do their job were accosted and stopped. We've seen these other black folks out barbecuing and doing other things, and then people get the cops being called upon them. I mean, this is a perfect example. This is a brother just trying to do his job, and he almost lost his life as a result due to racism, due to hate crimes.
Absolutely, and this deserves as much attention as any of the cases where our members of our families have lost their lives. And the reason why I say that is because so many people feel like, oh, we only pay attention to people after they are killed. But if we don't pay attention to these stories when people are surviving these stories, then it's kind of like, it's kind of like a if it bleeds, it leads type of mentality. And just because his life was saved, it doesn't mean that his story is any less significant, because like we said, he literally could have died. And really, at the end of the day, we also have to pay attention. Dr. Malveaux talked about in the last section about how we need to pay attention to our young girls and black rage. And that's really important. When you talk about this story and we talk about Ahmaud Arbery, we also need to pay attention to the fact that these are father and son duos. So when people talk about racism is dying out because the older generation is dying and so on and so forth, they are bringing their kids in to further this new generation of hate and continue it on. And this guy may be in his 30s or 40s, but we know that there are younger parents who are doing it with kids who are younger than any of us here. And so if we don't stay vigilant, if we don't let this brother's story be heard, if we don't listen to his voice and make it insignificant just because he wasn't shot, hey, at least you didn't get killed, that's not enough. It is hunting season on all of us. And too many of us are losing our lives, but too many of us who survived as well are dealing with their own trauma. I also remember that FedEx didn't have his back in the beginning as well. I don't think they really believed him. So this brother needs all the support that he needs, that we can shine on it. We know that these other networks aren't going to do it the way that we do it. And we also need to be mindful of the fact, particularly with this fake critical race theory activism that's taken our history and stories out from our schools, we can expect to see more ignorance and hate from young people because they're clearly getting it from their parents.
What do you want?
Facts.
What a job.
Big facts. Big facts. And he ain't never lied, man. He ain't never lied. So, I don't know. All in all, I think that they we watch these just for the reactions, just to see what they talk about. I want to hear both sides a lot of time. Or I want to hear, not in this case. I don't want to hear their side, the father's side. But I like to hear these different sides. But, a lot of times they speak a lot of mindless banter. I mean, I don't know something. Let me stop. Let me don't do that. Not mindless. It's a lot of filler. The main thing is they finna indict these motherfuckers. They finna go down. They finna get in trouble. And like he said, like Okongu or whatever his name is, like he said, they teaching that shit to their kids. This should be an example to stop doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? They gonna do it anyway, but hey, let motherfuckers know that if something happen and y'all do some stupid shit, this is what's gonna happen. Like, you know, and I mean, honestly, I'm gonna just keep it all funky with you. I can't keep it all the way funky with you. You know what I'm saying? Not all the way. But, you know, a lot of these things we need to take into, you know, our own hands. And that's all I'm going to, you know, kind of say about that. Like, they've been doing it to us for years, you know. We need to take this shit into our own hands, man. But then when you try to get situated, this is the kind of stuff that they do. They kind of they try to kill you, and then I'm just glad that my dog getting his justice. He didn't get hit, and that's what's up. All right, y'all.
True colors. One, where's Trump police officers showing their true colors? One, where's Trump gear to a Black Lives Matter rally? The other one gives a white supremacist a high five.
I think I seen part of this something.
Yeah. Okay. So a New York Police Department sergeant, let's put a picture up full mask. Well, she decided to wear pro-Trump patches on her uniform. Yeah, on her uniform. And blew kisses at protesters during a Black Lives Matter protest. Well, finally, this cop has been suspended.
Look at the face mask, though. It looked racist. It's
only
like
for 10 days.
Black face mask with white teeth.
And they docked her pay for 30 vacation days. Yes, that's what you get for being a racist individual contrary to the rules laid out in front of you. The sergeant's name is Dana Martillo. Now, you see the patches, right? You're looking at them. That's on her official uniform. You mean to tell me nobody saw this? You mean to tell me that nobody saw this when her shift started? You mean to tell me nobody saw this when she was riding to the protest? You mean to tell me the supervisor did not see this before the protest? Also, I do not believe this was her first time wearing these patches. Look at this, on an official police uniform, all right? Okay, so the sergeant was caught on video wearing these two patches. One with the Punisher skull logo and Trump style hair. And a second with a similar image and the words Trump 2020 and make enforcement great again. Video from the demonstration in front of the 84th Precinct Station House in downtown Brooklyn showed the sergeant pull down her mask and blow a kiss at protesters after they asked why she was at the Capitol, or if she was at the Capitol on January 6th, and called her a domestic terrorist. At her departmental trial, Inspector Matthew Gallivan testified that he pointed out the patches that day. And when she asked, am I going to get in trouble for it? He responded, you're not going to be in trouble, just zip the jacket up, according to Gamble's report. The sergeant, meanwhile, testified that Gallivan made no such order, instead telling her, no, I like your patches. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that's exactly what happened. The other officer said, you know what, it's cool, I like those patches. You know why? Because if there's insubordination, you can simply have her removed. She's a police officer who is there under your leadership. So if she decides not to do what you have told her to do, why is she still there for the entire protest? Okay, there's more. She also contended that the patches, now check this out, that the patches were not political because Trump is no longer a candidate. The kiss blowing and remarks at the protest, according to her, were an attempt to diffuse a tense confrontation. She said at the trial, Murray also pointed out, this is the lawyer, to the former president's visit to the 17th Precinct Station House on September 11, 2021, as proof of a double standard at play. He was invited in by great fanfare and celebration by high-ranking members of the department. He was invited behind the desk to sign the book. He said, he's a civilian, loves the police. It's permissible to celebrate Trump. He's a civilian. I'll be damned. But isn't that something? Well, here's the thing. If that's how it works, all right, I need some police officers to put on some indisputable gear and see what that'll do in your department, okay? Let's test the theory here. I'm a private citizen. I've never even run for political office. So I must be safe for you to put my picture on your uniform, right? Now we know good and damn well that would never fly. But for some reason, they are at least partly allowing it, the NYPD. Now that may boil your blood. You see exactly what she was doing, all right? She was being antagonistic, unprofessional, and she gets a slap on the wrist. She will continue, and at some point, she will contribute to defunding the police, because I guarantee you, there will be an adverse action in her police career. There's another cop, Columbus. He decides to high five a white supremacist. Here it is.
Yeah, Ohio. Ohio.
What's that?
You say you high-five people.
Yes.
Seriously. What's that all about?
Build relationships. With fascists?
Really?
Well, I'm not supporting their cause. I'm connecting with them. I'm out here hanging out with them. I'm not here to support their cause. I'm here to support their right to protest. We were talking about my mustache. And the guy said I had a good mustache. That's all it is.
Okay. Cool.
I do not. You can ask. I am very clear. I'm not supporting their cause. I'm supporting their right to protest.
I'm glad I came and talked to you.
And you can request my body worn camera and you can watch the whole thing. There's nothing I'm doing I can see the optics of it looking that way.
Exactly, it did look that way.
Just like when we're at a homicide scene and somebody makes a joke, we try not to laugh because, it looks like we're laughing at this. But
right, exactly. But I mean, I hope they're telling me the truth.
My name is Steve Dyer. I am the leader of the dialogue team. My goal is to facilitate people's right to protest. I am starting this because I think it's everybody's right to protest.
Yeah, he got caught. He got caught and he was trying to talk himself out of what another person witnessed. Here's the thing. I've literally seen at a Black Lives Matter protest, a young African-American male leader extend his hand to a cop. The cop told him, I cannot shake your hand. It is a security risk, but I can listen to you talk. You see, different rules for different groups, obviously. A few years ago, the Department of Justice released a report. You can find it online right now. The report said the greatest domestic threat in the United States of America at that time was not simply white supremacist groups. It was white supremacists infiltrating law enforcement. They already had the information. They knew then this would be a great risk moving forward. Did anybody stop it? No. Was there legislation to stop it? No, it continued. And now here we are. Max, what are your thoughts on this?
I like your idea. I think you should send a whole box of indisputable patches to the NYPD and see how many people wear them.
There you go.
I mean, the fact is these Punisher logos are well-known images on the far right. We saw them on January 6th. We saw them at Charlottesville. The people wearing them know full well what they mean and what they inspire. And what they inspire is fear. And it's the same with this officer who says, I'm not friends with these far-right neo-Nazis. I'm just hanging out with them. And the fact is, they feel like they can play by a separate set of rules. And your concern as a citizen for whether they may be biased or not doesn't matter to them. And there's really no meaningful consequences they'll pay for that. So until that sort of structure comes into place where this is actually given some kind of serious consequence, we'll see it continue to grow.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Once again, no legislation for this, but legislation for fictional issues like critical race theory.
Deion.
Wow. So, I don't know where Rashad Richie been, but what do he mean just now infiltrating law enforcement? That shit has been there since the beginning of time. They've always been in law enforcement. They've always had position. They've always been there. I mean, I'm just glad that now a lot of people are seeing that shit, man, and it's being broadcast. These cameras everywhere, man. You can't get, you can't slip off. You can't slip out of nothing, man. That nigga said I'm just hanging out with them. Get the fuck out of here. You believe in what they believe in, motherfucker. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it right, man. So, all right, we got a couple more, man, and we're gonna get the hell up out of here, man. Let's do a little update, man. We got an update. Rest in peace on the boy Takeoff.
In the murder of Migos rapper Takeoff. Police telling us this afternoon that an arrest was made. 33-year-old Patrick Xavier Clark is charged with murder. Gerald Harris joins us live downtown. And Gerald, police made a point to say Takeoff was an innocent bystander when he was shot and killed.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot police could share about the arrest, as it's still very much an ongoing investigation, and HPD still has a lot of people they need to hear from. Takeoff was shot and killed at a downtown Houston bowling alley on November 1st, where there was an argument and a lucrative dice game taking place. Police say there were dozens of people there when it happened, but many left without providing a statement. The alleged shooter, Patrick Xavier Clark, was arrested yesterday evening on the east side of Houston. Police say Takeoff was an innocent bystander in the wrong place at the wrong time and was not involved in either the dice game or the argument.
Definitely wrong place at the wrong time. Just not a whole lot of details. The main thing right now, he's in custody. He's arrested and he's charged for this murder.
Sources say Clark was previously charged in connection with a 2018 nightclub shooting, but a grand jury declined to indict him. Again, police are still asking folks to come forward with information regarding the incident. There were 2 other victims of the shooting. They were treated and released a while back with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, Clark, he is scheduled to make his first court appearance tonight at 7 o'clock at PC Court. Takeoff was just 28 years old on the day of his murder. In downtown Houston, Gerald Harris, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, dozens of people were there when that shooting happened. Hopefully they come forward now. Thank you, Gerald. Also discussed at the HPD news conference, Cameron Joshua, who just yesterday was charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. Now, Chief Finner emphasized Joshua is not charged with anything related to the shooting and the murder. He says Joshua was a felon with a weapon at the scene, which investigators say was captured on surveillance.
We've boiled it down to over 30 people that were standing outside. We have an exact number, but we're not going to put that out. When the shooting happened, literally every single one of those people left the scene without giving a statement to police. We found a few of them that night. We found others since then. But it's important that those people come forward. And we're still looking to talk to a lot of those people. And we will be looking to find you. It will be easier if you come find us. It'll be easier for you. It'll be easier for us as well.
Mayor Turner also emphasizing anyone who was there has a responsibility to come forward and help solve this crime.
Sheesh. You see what he said? Come find us or we gonna find you. All right, y'all, man. Let's go. Let's get one more in, man. Let's get one more in, y'all.
a Starbucks customer gets the word monkey written on her
not another one.
coffee cup. You see that? Okay. Now, some of you may say, well, that must have been a mistake somewhere.
No.
Well, let me give you the background.
She looks
Maryland
like
woman
a monkey.
is speaking out after Starbucks, a Starbucks barista,
baby.
wrote her name as monkey while taking her order. Monique Pugh is the name of the woman who's a loyal Starbucks customer for 20 years.
Monique.
On November 19th, she said she visited the location inside of Maryland. This was a mall, and ordered a venti caramel frappuccino. All right. The lady at the register requested my name, she said, and I told her. I said, my name is Monique. All right. She said, noting that she used the Starbucks app to pay, and verbally told her the name. Ms. Pugh said it was a long wait for her drink. This was uncommon for her experience. And she observed that everyone ahead of her was already called by their name. So this is now an issue. I can see from a distance a barista picks up my drink. She looks at it, weird, says venti caramel frap, and backed away. Pugh said she picked up the cup and saw the word monkey on it. My heart just drops, she said. It was one of those in the moment things where your heart just drops and you're like, what? Despite the distressing word on her cup, Ms. Pugh said, she initially just engaged with the nearest barista, who was a male, to try to get him to fix her drink, which was made incorrectly. So on top of the monkey word, the drink itself was not properly made. So she wanted a new one. She said that he immediately became combative with her and argumentative. He and I were going back and forth about whether the drink was made correctly. And then I had to stop myself and realize monkey was written on my cup. She said, adding, she was the only black person in the store at the time. She said she asked the employee, why am I the only black person in the store and monkey is written on my cup? Ms. Pugh said the male barista shrugged and told her it was a mistake. Just with that attitude and his response, it's triggering, and I can understand her point. Customers were looking at me and I was embarrassed. A Starbucks corporate representative confirmed the incident did in fact happen and told Today.com the employee who took the order has now been suspended. They also said the store where the incident happened was a franchise-owned store by the company called Impeccable Brands. Impeccable Brands has said they're launching an investigation. Sharon, thoughts on this case?
They get my order wrong every day, and I still go back and pay for this overpriced coffee. It's time to make the donuts go elsewhere, perhaps, until they can really make sure things like this don't happen. Suspended. Put monkey on the cup and argue with the customer.
Come on, exactly. Yeah, I agree 100%. Suspension, wait, that's, no. That person needs to go ahead and go. This is a life lesson.
There is a power vacuum in New York.
Wow. That's funny, man. Well, y'all know Starbucks is good for that, but y'all gonna still keep going over there and giving them y'all money. What we need to do is get a real black, coffee house or something like that, man, a coffee spot, man, and just push that shit, man. You know what I mean? Just push that shit.
If you've been to Walmart, you've encountered perhaps one of those greeters. They seem sweet. They seem, a lot of times, they're seniors who are there. It seems to just kind of, like I said, greet you. But they can be aggressive, some of them on the way out, particularly when one is shopping while black. Let's show you what happened to one gentleman in particular who was just there minding his own business, doing a little shopping at Walmart. A customer was stopped and accosted by a Walmart employee after purchasing his items. Again, simply shopping while black. The customer, who did not wish to be publicly identified, said it all began when the worker asked to check his receipt before he left the store the day before Thanksgiving. I'm sure Walmart was packed the day before Thanksgiving. As he tried to get the receipt, he claims the worker tried blocking him, saying, quote, "You people always try to steal." Now you see that there? Let's put up the screenshot of the encounter. caught on tape. The customer seems bewildered. I mean, he was getting the receipt. Why? I don't know. He's not legally obligated to. Walmart worker began to remove items from the customer's cart. I was like, what are you doing? I chased him down, said, give me my item. And I took the item back from him. And then he went to my cart and took the other items out of my cart. The customer told Eyewitness News. So basically, we're fighting over the items. And then I said, just give me a manager. Give me a manager, he told KABC TV. Just a portion of the encounter was captured on cell phone video published by the local station. Shows the employee rubbing the skin on his arm, seemingly saying the word color as he faces off with the shopper in front of an ice machine. That from Atlanta Black Star. The report says the worker yelled the N-word at the customer repeatedly, which was censored in the video. Bystander who is recording says the customer told the employee, don't call me a inaudible. You fill in the gap. Customer later filed an incident complaint with Walmart. A Walmart spokesperson told the LA Times the Walmart worker is no longer employed at their store. Walmart says it instilled the receipt checking policy to curtail shoplifting, keep merchandise prices low. However, customers, this is the part that I want you to know this, folks. You understand? Customers are not legally bound to stop to show their receipts. That's from legal experts. Yet store employees can demand to see the receipt or detain someone if they suspect them of theft. Some legal experts say refusing to show a receipt could be cause for suspicion. Now, I'm not a lawyer, Ray, but wouldn't you need more suspicion than just that? I mean, leaving Walmart, you paid for your items, no one's seen you put anything in your pocket. Is shopping while black and not showing your receipt enough?
Well, it just depends on where you are. And I think a lot of, if someone decides to prosecute and go further with it, yeah, they'll probably say it was enough because, they're not exactly in favor of, trying to understand the side of the person who just didn't want to have to shill out the receipt and have to, go through that trouble. But I will say, I grew up in a low-income, predominantly not white neighborhood. I still live in one. Every Walmart I've had in my neighborhoods has had someone checking receipts. I can usually go right out the door without anyone ever asking me for my receipt.
Thank you, ally. Thank you.
But I will say, when I would go to a Walmart in a richer, more affluent neighborhood, they don't do that. What's the difference? Right. It's income and it's the demographics of the people who are shopping there. And it really is. I mean, what he said in that video is exactly the same reason why they implement those policies is because they think these low income and black shoppers are going to be the ones stealing. So I'm glad they fired him. I mean, that's the bare minimum they could do. But I mean, instilling the policy in the first place is based on that racist assumption. And it's just BS them saying that it's to keep prices down. People could steal, every person could go to Walmart right now and steal something and it still wouldn't affect their bottom line. They would still not have to raise their prices. So it's just an excuse.
Wow, so it's disheartening, but I will tell you, as a black woman, I have had the same experience, but not as much, I'm sure, as you. I went to a Walmart in Amish country. I grew up in Pennsylvania, was in Amish country. It is what it is. I went to Walmart. They didn't even have those people checking receipts. But every time I went to one in inner city Cleveland, Atlanta, bam. And if I find it offensive, I really do. It's like presuming I'm a criminal when I haven't done anything. I haven't stolen anything since I was about 13 years old, and I stole gum from Wawa. Okay, there. I did. I also stole cheese from Kmart, but that's the point. Is, I'm an adult, exactly, and they would be the ones doing it. I'm an adult. Okay, I have a daughter who just turned 11, and I really don't appreciate it. I really don't. So I wish someone would test this, but perhaps it would have to be, well, it couldn't be a gentleman like that because things could have gone another way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that it didn't, escalate to the point of, physical harm. But I mean, the emotional harm that's done and the mental harm that's done on the individual, because You know, the man said the quiet part out loud. He saw a black person and assumed he was a criminal, assumed he was engaging in criminal behavior, never saw the receipt, had no idea, you know, what he purchased, had no reason to believe he was stealing, and still treated him like a criminal. And I mean, I think that's pretty, you know, emblematic for the way American society treats black people.
Yeah. I mean, there it is. You know, Walmart had no choice.
I earned 5% cash back on travel purchases.
Man. And with that, man, I'm gonna let y'all know. Like, I honestly, me personally, I used to work at Walmart back in the day, and I'll tell you this, man. It was in a hood, and they do these things. They have loss prevention there. People that you don't even know, that's shoppers that's looking at you and profiling you and watching you and following you. How do I know? Because I talked to them. I seen them. I've been in their office. Watched them take people that were stealing in there and do what they do. Anybody who done got caught stealing know that there's loss prevention there. Like, it's all a profile thing. Like, and it's not to save no prices, man. They don't need that shit, man. Y'all know they don't need that shit. But all in all, man, y'all don't need to be stealing shit from Walmart anyway. It's cheap. They use a little China. Man, let me stop. Anyway, appreciate y'all for hanging out with me, man. I'm finna go on in here, man. Your boy painting. Look at Drib done popped in, man. I'm finna go on and shut it down, Drib.
It's over with, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Work kicking my ass, good.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, cuz I know how that shit is, man. Well, shit, what you got going on right now? Let the motherfuckers know while I sign this shit off, man.
Well, got them coming. Got them off coming real soon.
Oh,
real
yeah.
fucking.
Hell yeah, man.
Shit, I'm about to put out beats for part 2.
You say you doing who?
I'm about to start sending out beats for part 2.
Oh shit. I heard that.
It's gonna be even crazier.
I mean, I already know.
These is gonna be even crazier.
I know they is. I was just telling Cuz, man, how you get out, man. I was telling that nigga today how you be whipping up that dope.
Oh yeah, who that?
Look, Cuz. You know he be doing shit too.
Oh,
look Kurt.
That's about to send him some shit too. I'm about to put him on there.
Mm-hmm.
I put him on there.
Hell yeah, yep. Hell yeah, we gonna get it in, man. Hell yeah. Well, we know we gonna get this shit, we gonna get this shit planned out, man. You know we gotta just push it in. You know shit. We gotta get this motherfucking bread up, man, so we can get all this shit rolling.
Run it up.
Hell yeah, man. Well, shit, man. Y'all already know, man. Appreciate y'all for coming out, hanging with your boy, man. PG the Hustler, man. Rafi Drib in the crib.
You was by yourself tonight, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah, yup. Oh, shit, well, y'all see it till you popped in, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was just mainly like a couple little update things and some stuff like that. It wasn't that major.
You see what dude, where your boy Richie supposed to do that Family Dollar hit that little girl with that pot? Hit that Karen with that pot?
No, let me see. Hold on.
That shit hilarious.
We might hold on for a minute. We might bring that back up. Hold up. Hold on, let me find this thing, y'all. Y'all listen to these little cool ass sounds while I
Karen gets hit with pot. This should come up. Or pan or something. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and this is Richie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yo, hold on real quick. Yo.
It looked like she died, cuz you about to scream. It looked like it looked like she died off of that. Died from that hit.
Oh. Hell yeah, I had to take a short intermission. What? Oh, that's what's that? Oh, look at them Franks. Red hot.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh yeah. All right, we had to take a little brief intermission. We got one left for y'all. Hold on. We got one more. For Drib, we gotta do Drib's nigga, but we gotta do Drib's homeboy, y'all. We gotta do Drib's dog. Oh shoot, hold on, let me do this.
He cried that time. He been my nigga ever since.
Yes. That nigga been on some funny shit, boy. He been his what's the name?
Oh God it is! Oh God it is! Oh God it is! Don't tell me what to do! Something wrong, Charlie. Oh God it is! Oh God it is! Oh God it is! Oh God it is! Bitches would never!
She using all the colloquialisms. Bing!
In the defense of others, I do not condone violence whatsoever. I do condone and support self-defense. Obviously, this was an aggressive attacker inside of a Dollar General. The couple was attempting to defend themselves from the pending attack. All right, here's the thing. Arguments happen. They happen. It's not
Boy,
necessary
did you hear the
for
octave in
an
that
argument,
motherfucker.
a conflict, a verbal joust, to either A, become racist, as we have seen highlighted before, or B, become violent. No need for it. Was not required. When individuals decide to act in the extreme over simple matters, and I say simple because there is nothing that can happen in a Dollar General that would make me commit a felony. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Okay? Absolutely nothing. So whatever the argument was about, it was petty. It was small. You did not have to try to attack another human being. But here we are. Okay. Ben, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, really, like we see this all the time, and it's just really infuriating because people like, I don't know, what is it, a sense of pride? Like you have a sense of, but like, come on, like nobody should have a sense of pride in a Dollar General. I don't care if you're like a millionaire, billionaire, most powerful person in the world. If you're in a Dollar General, you're in a Dollar General. Calm down, please, for the love of God. You know, there's nothing there that's that important except for the safety of all the people that are inside the building, right? So like seriously, it's just so wild when like, you know, maybe they're having a bad day or something, but they let it turn into like, what the worst day? Because if you start a fight and you're throwing a punch at somebody, you're risking going to jail at that point, right? And it all is going to depend on whether or not the other person on the side of that fight wants to press charges or not. And like, you really want to put your life at risk like that at a Dollar General? Like, Come on.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well said. Welcome to Indisputable.
Oh,
I'm your host, Dr.
was
Rashad
singing,
Richard. We
didn't
got a
Yes.
Bing! Man, that shit wild, man.
That motherfucker sounded like the Gong Show.
Yeah, it did. You ain't lying. Remember when that nigga Fred and Bubba went on that bitch?
It's really funny is when they went on Let's Make a Deal.
Yes, nigga, and they had the costumes on.
And Fred was just like a gorilla, dog.
Yes.
I cried.
And then that nigga Bubba have on a dress or some shit. Like,
Yeah, he was like Tinkerbell or something.
Yeah. What is some classic ass motherfucking programs, nigga?
Yeah, I cried, man.
Oh shit. Hey man, but yeah. Hey, these motherfucking Karens gonna get what they deserve, man. They gonna end up. Some people don't pull their phones out and just start taping. A lot of motherfuckers really start just ba-da-ba-ba-ba on you all upside your head. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck about no cameras and shit. So
I know, and I'm one of them motherfuckers who ain't, because I done missed so much fire shit that I should have recorded, but I don't even be thinking to pull my camera out.
Right.
That'd be the last in my mind.
facts. You ain't lying, cause sometimes you have to. I already know what you saying, cause it's like sometimes you gotta debate. Like, man, should I even pull this shit out? Cause that'll be just corny, like type shit. Like I ain't trying to be corny, but damn, some shit that went down.
Yeah, we from the old school, man.
Yeah, man, we tell a motherfucker about that shit. Damn, nigga, crazy that shit happened. But I ain't finna post that shit for you could be saying that you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I'm associated with that shit. I seen it from him. No, you didn't.
Right.
Motherfucker, you had to been there.
Yeah, you had to be there.
Mm-hmm. Man, you already know how it is, man. But shit, man, I'm getting up out of here, man. I'm in pain like a motherfucker, man. I got my surgery appointment on Friday. I gotta go get analyzed and shit, man, and see what they gonna do.
For a hernia?
Yeah, to repair my shit. Remember, they've been working on that shit for years. But
yeah,
it's some other shit that have popped up, man. I'll tell you about it when we, you know what I'm saying, when we link up and shit. But there's some other shit I've been going through, like with it, you know what I mean? Yeah, that shit. I just been in pain like a motherfucker. You know, I be working, I be using that shit all the time. Like the work I do is just, man, shit be crazy, dog. I be killing these motherfucking to leave, nigga.
Yeah, I already know, and I ain't good for you either.
Nope, it ain't. It definitely ain't, bro. And I be trying to get up off of them shits and try not to fuck with them so much and just do regular natural shit. Like, matter of fact, there's some almonds down there I'm about to go fuck with. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go hit some almonds and shit. And you already know, hit this little blunt for this pain, nigga. I'm trying to get off the what's the names. I'm fucking with these little wild hemps and shit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, these bitches hard. Nigga, we gotta get, hey, check this out. Hold on, man. Cause everybody don't need to be knowing about this part. Cause we finna hit these niggas with some shit, man. Hold on, man. But shit, like we said, man, y'all already know, man. Thank y'all for coming out, man, and tapping in with us on this shit, man. Gallimaufry coming soon. Man, in my own lane in the way, man. Episode 42, man, and we out, y'all.